A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. Henry Ford. Hey hustlers, welcome back. My name is Christian and I am the host of the Hustle Show, where we have amazing and incredible conversations with successful entrepreneurs about the harsh reality of being an entrepreneur. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Hustle Show episode number 4. On today's episode, we're going to have the amazing and incredible social media expert, Social Sonja. She has a truly inspiring story, and the reason why she's here on the show today is because, just like me, she was born and raised in another country. She came into the US not knowing a bit of English, not knowing anything about the culture, not knowing anybody. And even though she had all the odds against her, she was able to find her passion and was able to monetize on her passion and build this incredible and amazing business that she has. And not only that, but she did all this while being a full-time mom, which is incredible, and I admire her for that. And I wanted to share this story with you so that you can see that when you have that driven passion, you can make anything happen. And before we jump into our call, remember that you can find the show notes, resources, and our book club on top of finding both our video experience of the episode and also our audio experience podcast episode at thehustleshow.co/THS4. And if you're new to the show or you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, okay? Because that helps other people find our show and get to connected with me and with all the successful entrepreneurs that come into the show. So without further ado, let's jump into our call with Social Sonja. All right, hustlers. So on today's episode, Social Sonja is joining us. Welcome, Social Sonja.
Hello, hustlers. I'm actually honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited to have you. We kind of talk a little bit about your story, and I felt kind of connected with you because, I was born and raised in another country as well. And as soon as I heard that and I saw your success, it's like, we gotta get Social Sonja on the show.
Yes. And this is always connection. This is how we relate to each other. When people are from different country, it's easy to really connect and relate immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like, you're pretty successful in the social media industry. I love your pillows in your back as well, your social icons there. Absolutely.
Off right now.
Yeah, there you go. So to all the hustlers that are looking this in our YouTube channel, you're definitely enjoying those pillows back there. So, I'm just excited to, get the opportunity to talk to you, hear your story, share all the hustle stories that you have for us today. So if you want to, just tell us a little bit, how did you get started into social media? How did all that happen?
I actually worked 9 to 5 and always wanted to have something on a side, and I wasn't sure exactly what, but at the time I had a son, and I saw there's all moms that I was kind of hanging out with. They were obsessed with the tax sales, so I saw there was some kind of there was something missing when it comes to tax sales. So I made a pretty different concept of how tax sales should be run. So I actually set up my own website, and it's still out there. I'm not really doing anything right now with it, but it's called momstaxsale.com, and it's for moms to connect there and to actually set up play dates and for them to sell and buy different clothes. So I had this amazing idea, and then I started learning about how to actually set up a website, right? And I realized that it was extremely difficult to do it. So what I did, I hired a website designer, and he listened to me carefully what I really wanted, so he can actually implement all kind of things into my website, because it required different kind of plugins that it wasn't really easy, right? So, and then he asked me a question, hey, do you have a Facebook business page? And I said, yeah, I do have Facebook. He said, do you have a business page? I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you have to have a business page for what do you do, because you cannot be doing this on a personal. And I was like, okay, let me see what is the difference. So I started learning actually about the business page, right? So I somehow learned how to do it, set up my business page for Mom's Tax Sale, and I start really, running this page. And I was just amazed about, learn how to create graphics, learn how to make posts, learn how to engage, learn how to share my posts, where to go. I met this networking of amazing moms and how they are relating to each other, how they're connected, how to get in a circles of popular moms that have different kind of businesses. So I learned all of this stuff. I learned how to blog and how to publish my blog. So it was like the whole learning thing. So, and I was always talking about my website and my Facebook page, and everyone started asking me about, hey, how did you do this? How did you do this? How did you make this graphic? How did you post? How did you, how can I do this? How do you set a group? And so I started just answering these questions, until one person actually said, hey, I would like to actually hire you to do this for me. And I was like, what do you mean hire me to do this for you, right? He was like, yeah, I would like pay you if you can manage my page. And the time he actually had a page that that was created like a Etsy store, like an Etsy store, but he had something similar. And I started actually managing his page. And for me, realizing that this can be something paid, I realized, whoa, I can actually make a business out of this. So I learned more about how can I actually have a business, right? I got a few trainings, worked with a few coaches, and set up my business to do social media for other businesses, right? For local businesses. And the time I had second child, and because I need to move to different state, I was kind of, my work was 45 minutes away, had a new baby. I had a 3.5-year-old at the time, and traveling 45 minutes back and forth with 2 kids, it was like impossible, right? And my job really didn't even pay that much for me to even make sense out of it, right? So to me, it made more sense to figure out if I can have my own business and work from home. That's exactly what I did. So I quit my job and I started my business, and hired a coach, and she actually helped me to set it up properly. And this is how Social Sonja, how I started with Social Sonja. So my business is now called Social Sonja, and help small business owners and entrepreneurs with social media, Facebook ads, and especially how to attract more clients for their business. So that's overall how I started, but there are a few other things that I definitely want to talk about, how I managed to actually become more known. So we can talk about it too.
Right. Yeah. We'll dig into a little bit more into your story, but I mean, entrepreneurship is hard by itself. But when I hear that you're a mom, full-time mom, and then on top of that, you're a full-time entrepreneur, how does that what's those emotions? What crosses your mind is like, I bet it's not easy.
It's actually not easy. And it right now it's much easier because my mindset is different. But when I started, it was a huge struggle. And what I really was struggling was really how to think about all of this, right? But I didn't really think too much. I was just doing it. So the way I did it, I'll be with my kids during the time while my husband is at work. And then when he comes home, I immediately go upstairs, or I go to Starbucks or to library or anywhere where I had different kind of spots where I will do my business, and I'll work, right? I'll work on my business, I'll work on clients' business, right? So after he comes home, and then I'll wake up again in the morning, I was with kids, and then he comes back, right? So, and anytime they'll have a nap or any kind of opportunity I'll actually take this opportunity and work on a business, right? So there was never time that I'll have time to actually think about how do I do this. I just was like waiting for a moment to start working. So every little time that will be for work, right? So that was like for a really long time for me, and it was very difficult. But now when I think about it, it's difficult, right? But while I was doing, there was no other option. So that was it. Yeah. So right now, my son actually, he's summer break, but right now he goes to school, and then other son goes twice a week to the preschool and actually nursery school. So I do have a little more time.
That was probably one of your motivations to keep going, get your business, get your schedule so that you can focus in family.
Exactly. And, when you have kids and when you are driven to actually make your business work, it's simply just it works, right? So you don't really have time to think about different struggles. But one thing that I will tell you that I wish I thought more about was my health. because I totally put my health on the side. I obviously was snacking more than I'm supposed to, and I didn't really go to the gym. I didn't really follow all kind of rules that are out there for entrepreneurs to use when it comes to really making sure that you're taking care of when it comes to your health, right? So now that's another thing that I really work on hard. So I want to make sure that I am healthy and keep balance with it. So that's another thing that I wish I knew at the time while I was like really hustling.
I bet it's, because now we're talking about running a business, taking care of the kids, but then now taking care of your health.
Exactly.
Did your health had any repercussions because you were leaving it on the side? Do you have any problems with your health or anything like that?
I didn't even actually know I had that problem until I realized that I keep forgetting. I was forgetting keys. I was forgetting what I was gonna say. I was forgetting, what happened, and then I said, like, I'm extremely tired and exhausted. I cannot focus, right? So a friend of mine said, hey, you probably should be trying my holistic doctor, and she's awesome. So I said, okay, why not? So I went there and I said, I'm really, having hard time to focus, and I have more work than I ever did, and I'm extremely tired. So I really need to do something. Give me some kind of pill or something so I can keep working, right? And she was like, oh, I don't think so. This is how it works, right? So, and she was like, let me just test you out. And then when she tested me out, it was just like a disaster to find out that I was missing so much nutrition, and I didn't, take care of my sleeping routine. I didn't drink enough water. So she totally took care of it, and she gave me like a 6-month meal plan. She gave me all vitamins I need to take on daily basis. Every month I have to go and see her, and she needs to check me out. I need to have a sleeping routine, and it's just everything was changed. But right after a month, a little more, I started feeling so much better. So now that I know that I am good, that I exercise, and then I have I eat well and I sleep well, I just feel now I have actually more energy to my job. While before I thought sleeping less is going to give me more time to work. But after 1 year of really kind of doing this and working hard, I realized that I had less time to work, because when I was working, I was just tired and couldn't focus, right? So to me, somebody who's listening right now, if you guys can really think about, if you're trying to really burn yourself down during the day, don't do this, because this is going to cost you later. Right now, it's really important for you to exercise and drink enough water and sleep well. And then you will have enough energy to do more in 2 hours than you will do in 4 hours, right? So that's kind of thing that's what I actually improved since actually last year.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that, because that's one of my own rules, that it doesn't matter how much work I have to get my 8 hours sleep. There's no way around. Like, that's my, I need my 8 hours.
And this is exactly how it should be. There is nothing wrong with it, because doesn't mean that you hustle less than other people. If you sleep 8 hours, it means just like you're really taking care of yourself and you have very good balance. So that's exactly how it should be. But sometimes if you don't know how to do these things, or you just don't think they're not important, you simply don't do them, and then really cost you at the end so much more. So 8 hours of sleep is what you need, and that's what you have to listen to your body. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to your story a little bit, what when you were trying to hustle with the kids, trying to hustle with working on the side on your business, you were doing all this. Was there any doubt on your side that you could actually turn something that you learn on your own, that you were doing for fun? Did you doubt yourself that you can turn it into a profitable business?
Oh, 100%. Even now, sometimes I doubt myself, much less than I did before, because I don't compare myself anymore so much. But the time when I started, I really started to looking up to different stars in online business, and I was trying to do what they do, copy their systems, and really try to use the same systems and process that they'll be using, right? And then I'll suddenly see that all these other online entrepreneurs, they'll do the same thing, they'll be more successful. So I will always question, why am I not successful like that? Because I see them always showing more more wealth or more clients, or they're more on more, different kind of interviews, or they're just they're just better at the business than I was. So I started comparing to them. And when you compare to somebody else all the time that is not actually where, sometimes even you compare to somebody who is not where you want to be, then no matter what, you will doubt yourself, right? So as long as you can go back to your why and wherever you want to go and why you're doing this, and understand that you need to follow your steps and follow the chapters, right? Sometimes you compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 14, and then you trying to see why is this person more settled than I am, but you forget that this person probably have been working 10 years in their business while you have been working maybe 2 years, right? So when I realized that difference and who am I and what I want to do, I simply just, even though I still have times when I feel, I just can't do this, like it's not working, or what can I do to do better, or I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I see other people are succeeding, right? I do have it less, because then I can really easily go back to the social Sonja, what social Sonja wants, what are my skills, what I'm really strong at. So I don't really pay attention anymore to my weaknesses. I'm trying to really work on some things that I want to make it better. I really want to polish my strengths rather than work on something that I'm struggling with, right? Well, I used to be jack of all trades. I used to also want to learn like everything possible so I can be the best, but you cannot be best. So when I decided to really focus on one thing, I was able to show more better skills, and I was able to actually attract better clients, and I was able to show that I'm more successful, right? Just because I was focusing on one thing. And that was something I didn't notice before. Well, all I was seeing successful people while I was jack of all trades, right? And then when I really took time and look at the people that were successful, I actually realized they're successful because they are focusing on one thing. They're successful in one thing, right? So that's something that I started working on more, working on my strengths and see how people are seeing me, and what am I really, what kind of message I'm conveying out there, and what can I really help with, like what is my strongest point.
That sounds totally very, very useful, because I think a lot of people have that problem. They compare to the other guy that is making 6 figures and they're not, or the other guy that you're making 6 and then they're making 7 figures. So why? I think that is a big problem going into the entrepreneurial community. So what kind of tips would you give them to stop comparing themselves to somebody else and just try to focus on themselves? Like you said, try to focus on their strength.
Well, really, evaluation of your skills is something that you should do often, and see where you are, where you're standing, what do you want to do. What do you want to do, again, is extremely important. Who you want to work with, who you want to help, is something that you should be asking yourself until you figure out what is your exact niche, right? Sometimes people feel like they shouldn't be niching down because they probably will be working with less people, which is not true. So you really should be niching down and seeing what are you strong at, right? And so you have to be expert at something, right? Something that people what people go to you, like for what. So that's something that you really need to narrow down, and narrowing down what are you strong at will help you actually stop comparing yourself with other people, and will help you be more confident, will help you be in the right circles, and will help you be in front of people that you need to be in front of, right? And of course, you want to be in front of people that you can help, that you can give some solution and help them get to the next place they want to be, right? So what is something that you can help people with? So you cannot really help people if you are a jack of all trades, right? You need to pick something you're strong at and work on that and be known for it, right? It's all about what do you want to be known for, right? What are you strong at? That's what I really suggest everyone who's listening right now, to focus on their strengths rather than weaknesses. That's number one thing that helped me.
Very cool. So, I mean, it sounds like you really have all your business running and everything's running smooth, and you figured out your niche and you became this expert in this area. and you're already well known and everybody knows you. But I know Social Sonia comes from another country. I know it was probably tough. It was probably difficult at the beginning. How was that transition between being somebody from a different country? How did that transition over the time to become this successful social media expert?
I was always driven, and no matter where somebody put me in this world, I'll feel some kind of strength to move forward. So while growing up in Serbia, it was extremely difficult time for me. Difficult time because I grew up in a war. It was 10 years war, extremely difficult time for everyone in the country, and for myself, I was a child at the time. And after the war, I was 18, and I really I didn't know what to do next, right? Because somehow, it was just like a real difficult time financially, right? So my parents couldn't afford to pay for my college, and while all other my friends, they were going to college, right? So that was for me extremely difficult time. So what I did, I actually I grew up in a small village, and we have 1,800 people in this village, right? So I moved. Yes, that's small, right? So everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
So I said to my father that I want to move to a big city, and he was extremely upset with me because that was like big no. So, and he actually was so much upset with me that didn't want to speak with me. But I said, no matter what, how you are upset with me, I have to live my life. And so I moved to big city. I worked probably the worst jobs that are out there, but finally I found a job that I was able to pay for my apartment and my food, right? Then I secretly went to the college. I find out how can I enroll in. I worked so hard. They said, if you are a top student on the test, you can get your college paid, right? So what I did, I worked so hard for this test, and I passed it. I actually got my college paid for me for the first year, and that got me time to actually collect money for other year, right? So I enrolled in college. I went back to my parents and said, I'm in college, don't worry about anything, I can handle this. I pay all my bills and apartment, and finish my college. My major is accounting and finance. I'm never actually worked in a field, but it's something that I actually learned so much from it, because that's another skill that you can add to what I'm doing right now, right? When I finished college, I realized there is no job for me. So for 3 years, there was a man that has like an extremely successful business in my country, and he said, once you finish college, you'll be hired, right? And he never hired me. That was my huge disappointment. So I heard about some people going to America, right? So I said, I want to go too. And I figured out a way how I can come here. It was extremely expensive, and absolutely I had every possible no on my way that I could not go because I didn't have, I didn't have access to things that other people did have that could come here. I didn't have money to come here. Somehow, I don't even know how, but I did put everything together, and I tried. And I tried, and I succeeded. I was able to come to this country. So as soon as I got here, I enrolled in college here, and I started working. So that it was extremely hard for me. Didn't know anybody. Didn't know English. I did not know what will I be doing and how long I'm going to be staying here. Like, it was absolutely, I did not know anything. It was the riskiest thing I have ever done in my life. Plus, all my family and friends that thought it was the craziest thing, and I should absolutely not do it. Plus, they said, go ahead, go there, and you'll come home in a few months, because you'll not succeed, right? Well, I did succeed. I took 9 classes of English the first year, while other people take 4 or 5 English. I said I took 9 because I wanted to make sure that I can speak English, I can write English. I jumped immediately to English 101 and then passed in English 102, which was huge accomplishment, right? I was always in a community helping, and then I became an honor student at a college here in America, and applied to become a president of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And I was actually picked to be Honor Society New England Regional President of Phi Theta Kappa. And at the time I was president of 58 colleges in the United States in the Honor Society. So that for me was huge accomplishment, and they gave me wings and gave me confidence that no matter what in my life I will have going forward, I can succeed. Because somebody who comes to the United States, they know English, and then 2 years after becomes regional president of the Honor Society, it's actually a huge achievement and a huge confidence booster. Once I had that confidence booster, realized what I'm really good at, I had no problem always finding that confident person in me when I had a hard time. Even now, when I have a hard time overcoming something, I always go back to that person that had a confidence to win, the confidence to say, yes, I can. They had confidence to say no to my father. They had confidence to say, to come to this country without knowing anybody and anything, right? So I always go back to that feeling where I feel I can do this, right? So today I have different struggles, right? You say I look all put together when it comes to my business, but it's not always like that. It's daily struggle, right? So even though I have my higher goals, I have different things I want to accomplish. So that's my new struggle, right? So I don't anymore struggle with things I have already accomplished. That for some people they're just on a way to accomplish that. Today I have different struggles, right? They're on different level. But every day I struggle, or every week or month, or however you want to say it, right? But every time I feel beaten up, or I feel low in confidence, or I feel I just simply don't have what it takes, I go back to that persona that was extremely confident and they were successful. They have done this, and that. And I always feel this is my power, right? So I do suggest you guys, if you can list all the accomplishments you have done in your life, right? So you heard from me that I have told you already few accomplishments I have done. Those are my accomplishments that I believe those are huge accomplishments. So maybe somebody who's listening right now, they might think, oh, that's nothing. To me, at the time, there was accomplishment, right? So I consider this accomplishment. I consider my strong point. I consider when I was happy, when I was strong. And you need to release those accomplishments on the list. And anytime you feel down, anytime you feel you don't have what it takes, you look at the list and say, yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. And that's one thing that will always push you forward, because nobody can motivate you like you can motivate yourself. And I know deep down, every one of you has something that you were good at. No matter how ridiculous it sounds to somebody else, you know how you felt at the time. I know how I was proud when I heard my name being announced that I am regional president now to all these colleges, right? I remember how I was proud when the person embassy said, "Hey, you passed, you can go." I remember him putting the stamp on my passport. I remember the moment of being proud. I remember when I called up my parents and said, I enrolled in a college, you don't have to pay anything, it's taken care of. I remember that sound in a voice that I will never forget, that they're proud of me, right? So no matter how you feel and whatever you remember as your accomplishment, you should write it on a list and always go back to that anytime you feel just beaten, or just feel like you have been struggling or losing for some time. So that's something that I will suggest everyone, because it's something that really helps me each time.
Wow, that is a very impressive story. It's definitely a lot more than I expected. It's your story is amazing, and that's one of the reasons that I felt that we needed to share it, because I keep saying, there's no such thing as overnight success. Overnight success takes 10, 20, 30 years. So you never know. And that's the reason of the show, always sharing what's the real harsh that there is with entrepreneurship. And through all your hustle things and all what you went through, moving from country, trying to get accepted here, trying to go to college, trying to learn English, what kept you going? What was that motivation look like? What was your goal? What were you trying to achieve?
I really wanted to you want to live life I felt I deserve. Growing up in country, I'm from Serbia, and women, they marry younger, and they do certain jobs, right, that men don't do, right? And that was never for me. I felt I deserve more, right? I felt that I have to be celebrity in some kind of way, right? Always felt I need to have a stage, no matter what, how small or big. I want to have a stage, right? Because I felt that I have something to share with the world. And to get there, you need to have certain skills and talents and work on and really work hard, right? So to me, being able to inspire and motivate people, no matter what, whether to teach them about the business, whether to give them confidence boost or motivate them, or really be able to be at the happiest place of my life, that was my always desire. So whenever I feel I am not happy, I always need to go back to to what I really want to do in my life, what I really want to be. And then my why is really to be able to be in front of people and help them out and give them that courage, right? Not everyone has a courage, but somehow, whenever I share my story or any little thing that I feel people need to hear, they feel more encouraged, right? So giving people courage is something that is extremely powerful. And I'm an extremely courageous person. I like to try new things. I like to take new challenge on, and not everyone is this way. But I believe that people are not this way because they feel they're comfortable in their zone, right? When you're in comfortable zone, there is nothing happening, right? So where you are outside of your comfort zone is something when outside of your comfort zone is when things are happening, right? So for me, when I speak to people, to bigger or smaller crowds, I always some way I encourage them, right? So getting people out of that comfort zone, it's really creating some kind of special atmosphere and energy and power they really enjoy, right? So my advice is really to be able to connect with people, for them to be able to relate to me, motivate them, and encourage them. So at this time, I teach again about the business and about social media and about Facebook ads and about how to work with your ideal client. This is something I really enjoy working and teaching people. But down the road, you never really know how I will be able to relate to people, right? So just to give 100%, and just to really be the best I can be, it was always my motivation. So, and the struggle wasn't something I was going to accept, never in my life. So struggle actually always gave me, it was always empowering me more than, in some way putting me down. So, my dream is to live my life, and be the best I can. This time, this is in America, and this is the country I absolutely love. And this is a country I feel like I was born, because its energy is amazing here, and I really can be whatever I can be. It's almost like, for some people that will be listening, it's almost like watching Zootopia, right? It's like you really can be whatever you want to be. And you can do whatever you want to do. It's extremely amazing country to be in and live in. So there are so many people in my country that they still call me or message me or connect with me on a daily basis and ask me how I got here. So when I'm more successful, I can help them to be more successful, right? So I always share with my entrepreneur friends. I always say, I like to hire people from my country because when I hire them from a country, I actually inspire them. They're most of the time, kids that are 18, 19, 20, or even older, they finish the college, they don't have a job, right? So when they see me here in America, they feel inspired and they feel they want to give more, right? So no matter what, it's not always about the money. It's not about how much I pay them or, about the payment they give them. However, it's about them being really inspired and seeing, hey, I can do this, even though I'm from a poor country, there is no jobs for me, and I just finished college. I don't need to be depressed. I actually can work with Americans, like, like I'm American, right? But it's funny to say, but with people like Sonja, right? So they can work with me, they can work with you, they can actually work for different, it doesn't have to be American companies. It can be, Canadian or, Australian, doesn't really matter. But for them to actually know that this is not their limit, there's something out there they can do. It's something that really inspires me. So again, being the best I can, it helps me to help other people. So again, I will not like to say that I'm, you asked me what is my plan. I could say a bigger house, maybe, more cars. I don't even know what to wish for, but that was never really my dream. My dream is to have everything I have now, but just be able to give back. Because to me, being able to have a stage and share what I have with people, it's important to me.
I love that story. I love how you are not only focusing on yourself, but you're giving back to other people and trying to motivate them, and especially in those type of countries where there's not as much opportunity. I mean, here everybody can jump into the internet, but in those countries it's a little harder sometimes, and it's not as easy. Anything, whatever idea you have, it's just harder. I know it because, I told you my story. I'm from Mexico too, and every time I go, I mean, I'm just amazed. I see the opportunity, but they don't, because I mean, they don't have the mindset, they don't have the tools. It's a lot harder. Everything is harder. So I'm very impressed that you're doing all this. Like I said, you've come a long way, and I'm proud of what you've done, and I know you're headed the right way, and there's a lot of success where you're headed. But just for all the hustlers that are listening to, and trying to inspire them, what would you say is your secret of success?
Well, it's being driven, right? I'm driven no matter what. I know that I want to accomplish different things. Right now I want to finish my course. This is right now what I work on. I want to build bigger Facebook group. I wanted to speak more. I wanted to connect with more entrepreneurs. I want to have more clients, right? So I am driven. And if you don't have drive, it's something that you need to actually look for, right? I know somebody says not everyone is driven, not everyone can have it, but you need to look what drives you, right? I believe that every person can be driven, right? But you need to see what motivates you. So I would love for everyone now who is listening to look in what motivates them, what it gives them sparkle, for what gives them why they are sometimes better, why they are working more. So when they realize what is their why and what makes them feel a certain way and happy and successful, they should do more of that, right? So what is your drive? When you are driven, there is no obstacle on the road. There are just little bumps that you will jump over and become stronger, right? So when you are driven, you can do everything. So if you can keep them dry all the time on the high volume, that's something that I suggest to everyone. And if you are not driven right now, feel like I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I just simply nothing is working for me, or I just tried and didn't work, I don't know how to do it. Try to find what really drives you, and try to find how can you turn around things that are happening to you right now. Turn around those bad things, turn around those negative things, right? Being able to pick yourself up quickly is important. That's also part of my success, because I am able to fall down every day. I should fall down every day. I just have some kind of hiccups, but I actually am able to pick up myself up immediately and just see, okay, what can I do now? What can I do now? Okay, what can I do now? That's immediate reaction, right? That's something that you can work on your drive, and being able to pick yourself up faster, and work on your skills that you actually are already good at. Just polish them. That's all I can really say. Focus on your strengths, forget about weaknesses.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, and I love how you basically are saying it very easy. I mean, when you say know where you're going, just set up a goal and go for it. And I think that's a big problem with people, that they want to do so many things at a time that they really don't know what they want to achieve.
And that's one thing, because people can only focus on one thing, right? Without distraction. So focus on one thing you want to accomplish. In next 90 days, what do you want to work on? Do you want to have more clients? Do you want to have bigger Facebook group? Do you want to finish your course? Do you want to, set up your agency? Or do you want to, get 5 more clients? Like whatever your goal is, work on one goal. Don't jump on so many things, right? So when you start jumping from one thing to another, this is when people become overwhelmed, distracted, and people become very discouraged because they don't see a result. Focus on one thing, and until it's accomplished, don't move. So that's one thing that I really want to suggest to you, because again, I was jack of all trades, didn't see much success. I really wanted to speak more, and in the 2016 I have done over 50 workshops. 2 of them are in New York City, because I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I want to be known for, right? So put yourself out there. If that takes you to do 50 workshops, it's like probably too extreme, but if it takes you 50 workshops to figure out what you want to do, just be it, just do it. Right? You didn't know, no one told me to do 50 workshops. I came up with it myself. It was not something else just to everyone, but I would just say, if this takes to figure out what you want to do in your life, then do it, right? So I just simply, after working so hard and figure out what I want to do, I figure out that what I'm good at, right? So figure out what you're good at and just focus on one thing. And that's my suggestion to you.
I love that. So, to all the hustlers that are listening, just focus on your passion, focus on one thing, niche down and become an expert in that area. Don't try to be jack of all trades, like you said.
Exactly. Because no one remembers jack of all trades, because what people come to you, then, what you want to be known for. And you really will enjoy that when people introduce you and say, hey, this person is the best podcaster. Right? This person is, he interviews people the best and people want to be on his podcast, right? So, or he makes the best green tea, right? Or whatever you want to be known for, but you have to be known for one thing.
The green tea company that we run is matcha. I don't know if you're familiar with matcha, but it's very energetic, and I drink three or four cups a day. And so I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, oh, is that your secret of how you are always so active? They're like, yeah, I think so.
Yes, you see, so this is what you want to be known for. What you want to be, what people will be always, saying, hey, I need more energy. I need this guy, right? So right, I need this product. So that's something you want to be really known for, and just, speak this way. So again, have you think about everything what you do, be self-aware, evaluate yourself, and just, go from there.
Okay. So I know you're pretty smart, very intelligent. I want to see how you do in our hassle round, where we're going to try to step you out of our comfort zone. And I'm basically just going to give you a word, and you're going to throw out whatever word pops into your mind. And if it's a bad word, we can censor it later. So don't worry about that. Does that sound like a plan?
Sure.
All right.
Just one word, right?
Just one word. Okay. Here we go. Hustle.
Hard.
Work.
A lot.
Employee.
Respect them.
Boss.
Learn from them.
Rules.
Are to break.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're for. College.
One word will be college. It's important to some people, but how can I say unnecessary? Here we go.
Fear.
Motivator.
Weakness.
Overcoming.
Strength.
Polish.
Motivation.
Every day.
And books.
Always.
There you go. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I love trying to step you out of your comfort zone and see how you react.
Yes, it was hard to actually do it in one word, but yeah, If you want,
That's the hardest.
we can repeat something in one word. It took me some time to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually the hardest part. Try to, a phrase, try to make it in a word. That's pretty hard. All right. So before we leave, I want to share with everybody that if they want to connect with you, what are you up to? What are you working on right now? And how can they find more about you?
Right now, actually, I'm working on launching my course, and it's called Irresistible. Irresistible is how to really be irresistible to your clients, and it's all about really first learning about your clients, attracting them, and learning about how to give them value. And you can only give them value when you know what is their pain point and how to give them solution, right? So this is how you give them value, when you help them solve the problem, right? And this way, when you solve their problem, you become irresistible, right? So it's all about being irresistible with your blog, with your website, with your video, with your live video, with your Facebook ads. It's all about really helping other people, giving them value and knowing what they want. It's a first round of course that is really teaching how to define, attract, and convert your ideal client. And people can find me actually at Irresistible, Attract Your Perfect Paying Client Facebook group. And if you go to bit.ly/Master Irresistible, you can find my Facebook group.
And I'll make sure that I get those links from you so we can post them on the show notes that you can find at thehustleshow.co. All right, so just before you leave, so that we can leave it in a motivational note, what would you say to all the hustlers out there? How would you motivate them?
First of all, work on your drive, and see what drives you. Think about it, and until you figure out, don't do anything else, because that's one thing will actually fix everything else what is missing. Because what really drives you is something that will help you figure out and that not really see obstacles or anything that's holding you back. So see what drives you, what really drives you, and see what are your strengths. Work on it, and show up and tell people who you are and how you can help them.
Awesome. All right. Well, Social Sonja, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, and to all our hustlers that are listening and watching in our YouTube as well. Very excited, very grateful to have you here and to have the opportunity to connect. So hopefully we can do some stuff together in the future.
Yes, this was really, really honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoy talking with you, and just want to say you guys are in good hands. This is going to be a great show. I can only see he's an amazing interviewer. I really enjoy talking with you. So I'll see you around, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, hustlers, there you have it. Social Sonja, the amazing and incredible woman, full-time mom, successful entrepreneur, and she's just an incredible person. I had such a blast on her chat. Truly admire her for all of what she's done. So hustlers, please, pay attention to this message, pay attention to the entrepreneurs that we have in the show, because they're inspiring stories. They're real inspiring stories of how other people are hustling and how every day they struggle, but they keep pushing and they keep pushing until they succeed. And remember that you can find all the show notes and the link to connect with Social Sonja as well at thehustleshow.co/THS4. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you join us in our next episode as we have another story. You know the drill here. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and I hope you tune in back again on our next episode, as we will have another life-changing, amazing story, okay? Keep hustling.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to the Hustle Show audio experience. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And even if you didn't, make sure you subscribe to the podcast right now. It's still free. Visit thehustleshow.co for all the show notes and to watch the video experience of this episode. We'll see you soon.